Back in the book segment tonight, New York Post columnist Cindy Adams writes today that Sarah Palin may very well run for president. Ms. Adams citing the governor's intense study routine as evidence she is preparing for the fray. Joining us now from Washington to analyze that possibility and also the Rick Perry factor, Fox News analyst Charles Krauthammer. So if Governor Palin does get into the race, what happens?
Well, it gets very interesting, it gets very complicated, and the rowboat gets very crowded. The bodies are going to start to go overboard. If you look at the latest polls, you've got only 4 candidates or potential candidates in double digits. You've got Romney at 25, Bachmann at 14, Palin at 12, Perry at 10. Now, if you look, that means that if Palin enters the race, she and Bachmann are going to fight it out for mostly the same constituency. Now, this is not, it's not a question of sexism or gender. It's a question of who their constituencies are. They are both strong with the Tea Party. Bachmann is the head of the caucus in the House. Palin, of course, supported it, is very strong among Tea Partiers, exploited that, used that to her advantage in helping a lot of candidates in the midterm elections. So if you add up their percentages, they're roughly equal to Romney. One of them would emerge as the major opponent.
Well, I think you're right. I don't think Sarah Palin is going to take any votes away from Mitt Romney. It's a whole different
Exactly. It's
deal.
a whole different constituency.
And right now, Michelle Bachmann, and we have a report on her tomorrow because there was some little thing in South Carolina that we're trying to sort out right now before we report it. We don't want to put on erroneous information involving an ABC News correspondent. Michelle Bachmann has some momentum, particularly in Iowa, where she's a favorite daughter born there. And look, Cindy Adams is often right about what she puts on paper. And so you have to take this seriously, that she mentioned that she believes Cindy Adams, that she's going to jump in. But I agree with you that if Sarah Palin does jump in, Palin and Bachmann pretty much neutralize each other and Romney benefits.
Well, exactly. It's as in the poll. They split that constituency. You'd imagine that if Palin were to stay out, that would increase the Bachmann vote,
sure,
because
no doubt about
the people would go to her.
Who's stronger,
they
Palin
might
or
go
Bachmann?
to
Who's stronger, Palin or Bachmann?
Well, it's interesting. If you'd asked anybody 6 months ago, you know what the answer would have been. Bachmann is a phenomenon. It's sort of like the phenomenon that we had in 2008 with Huckabee, who was unknown. He was way down in the polls. He performed as well in a couple of debates. All of a sudden, he's a first-tier candidate. I think that is the story in almost every cycle. Somebody comes out of the pack. She has. Now, she came out really early. It was only in one debate. So we're going to have to see if she might have peaked early, because she's going to. Now expectations are really high for Bachmann. Nobody would have said 3 months ago she has to win Iowa. I think now the expectation is she wins Iowa.
Right, she's a front runner,
if she doesn't, it's going to look like a defeat.
And it will be. She should win Iowa, that caucus. Now, Rick Perry, Texas, indicating that he will jump in the race at the end of the summer. He is a threat to Mitt Romney, correct?
I think he is. I think there's going to be somebody coming out of the existing pack. That'll be one contender against Romney. Perry, I think, on his own could be the other contender against Romney. It'd be a three-way race. He comes in as a man, obviously, with a lot of experience as a governor, executive experience. He's strong with the social conservatives. And Texas has had a good record. 37% of all the new jobs in the recovery have been in Texas. And he's got a lot of money. You put that all together, you've got a serious contender against Romney. I think it becomes a three-way race.
And the hair, both of their hair looks the same. So they might get mixed up. You know, presidential hair.
They
got the hair going on there
of the Reagan the Reagan strain.
The Reagan hair. All right. So, are you going to predict that Perry will jump in?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll go with that one.
Okay. So you say Perry's in, becomes a three-person race then. Perry, Romney, and whoever emerges from the Palin Bachmann, but most likely Congresswoman, because Sarah Palin, good chance she doesn't get in, because of the very reason that her constituency is split now. All right, Charles, always interesting. Thank you very much. Pinheads and Patriots ahead. Starring at Chihuahua.